The president who led America through darkness. When America faced fear. When hope was fragile. When the world stood on the edge of collapse. One man spoke calmly into the radio and said, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." Franklin Delano Roosevelt did not just govern America. He guided it through its greatest storms. This is the story of a man who lost the use of his legs, but never lost the strength of his spirit. This is the life of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was born on January 30, 1882, in Hyde Park, New York, into wealth and comfort. Unlike most Americans of his time, Franklin grew up surrounded by luxury, education, and opportunity. But privilege did not make him distant. From a young age, Franklin was taught responsibility, public service, confidence. He admired his distant cousin, Theodore Roosevelt, whose bold leadership inspired him deeply. Franklin attended Harvard University, Columbia Law School. He was intelligent, charming, and socially skilled. But his greatest strength was not brilliance, it was connection. People trusted him. They felt heard. And Franklin believed his destiny was public service. In 1905, Franklin married Eleanor Roosevelt. Their marriage was complex, challenging, and deeply influential. Eleanor would become his conscience, his strongest supporter, a powerful leader in her own right. Together, they formed one of the most important partnerships in American political history. Franklin entered politics as New York State Senator, Assistant Secretary of the Navy. He was energetic, optimistic, and ambitious. Many believed he was destined for greatness. Then, everything changed. In 1921, at the age of 39, Franklin Roosevelt was struck by polio. Within days, he was paralyzed from the waist down. Doctors were unsure he would survive. The man who loved movement, sailing, and action was suddenly unable to walk. This was Roosevelt's darkest hour. For years, Roosevelt fought despair. He learned patience. He learned humility. He learned empathy. Polio changed him. It softened his arrogance and deepened his compassion. He now understood pain. Not as theory, but as reality. This suffering would later shape his leadership. Against all odds, Roosevelt returned to politics. In 1928, he became governor of New York. He focused on helping the unemployed, supporting the poor, using government to ease suffering. Then came disaster. In 1929, the stock market crashed. Banks failed. Jobs vanished. Families lost everything. America was broken. By 1932, people were desperate for hope. And they chose Franklin D. Roosevelt. When Roosevelt took office in 1933, America was in despair. His first act was not policy. It was confidence. Through his Fireside Chats, Roosevelt spoke directly to the American people. Not as a ruler, but as a neighbor. He made them believe again. Roosevelt launched the New Deal, reshaping America forever. It included jobs programs, banking reforms, social security, protection for workers. The government became a protector, not just an observer. Critics called him dangerous. Supporters called him a savior. But millions survived because of his leadership. The American people trusted Roosevelt more than any president before, or since. He was elected. 1932. 1936. 1940. 1944. 4 times. Not because he sought power, but because the nation needed him. As the world descended into chaos, Roosevelt tried to keep America out of war. But on December 7, 1941, everything changed. A date which will live in infamy. Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. America entered World War II. Roosevelt led America through massive military expansion. Global alliances. Total war. Alongside Churchill and Stalin, he shaped the modern world. He believed this war was not just about territory, but about freedom versus tyranny. By the early 1940s, Roosevelt's health was failing. He was exhausted, weakened, in pain. Yet he continued. Because he believed leadership was duty, not comfort. On April 12, 1945, Franklin D. Roosevelt died suddenly in Warm Springs, Georgia. The nation was stunned. The man who had guided America through depression and war was gone. He never lived to see victory in World War II. But he secured it. Franklin D. Roosevelt changed America permanently. His legacy includes social security, a stronger middle class, expanded democracy, America's rise as a global leader. He proved that disability does not equal weakness. Compassion is strength. Leadership requires courage in crisis. Franklin D. Roosevelt did not walk into history. He wheeled into it. With determination, courage, and vision. He led America when fear ruled. He spoke hope when silence felt safer. And when history demanded strength, he answered. If this documentary moved you, like the video. Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more emotional American history documentaries.